Today, I'm excited to welcome Jeremy Livengood, Tobi Bosede, Eric Pastan, and Dr. Mariz Tanious. What are things that people should look at, separate and apart from the data and the P&L, that are, I don't know, like the kitchen remodel, if you will.
I think when you look at the deals that have been done over the past couple of years, it really comes down to integrations. How well integrated are these practices? And maybe it's not, are they all on the same exact practice management system? Although, that's a huge positive as well. But is there an enterprise view? Are there financials? Are there KPIs that you can look at that marry the entire organization? And do you have management efficiencies within the organization? So I think for a while, people were chasing EBITDA, right? Like they were just mashing together, disparate systems and disparate organizations and just calling them DSOs. And now I think buyers have become a lot more intelligent about what it takes to grow and scale a larger organization. And, there has been a lot of interruption to that because it's required massive amounts of investment on the integration side. So, when I talk to our clients, when they say, hey, what do we need to look like to be able to sell? And, I give my company line of, you need to be a beautiful business that has a plan on how you're going to grow the day after the transaction, not up until the transaction, because you're going to sign, a 5-year employment agreement on continuing to grow this organization, whether it be a financial buyer or a platform buyer. That still has to be your plan. There has to be meat on the bone for your acquirer to create ultimately, a larger organization. And so, that comes with a well thought out plan.
What are some of the things that you are most excited about in dentistry today? You've been in dentistry for now, I said in the intro, 2 decades. And so when you look at kind of where dentistry has come from and where it's going, what are some of the things that you are most looking forward to?
Honestly, it's the technology side of things and how we can automate a lot of these processes in the office. Whether you're a DSO or a single practitioner, there are some amazing things happening that a lot of people don't know about yet, and there's certain things I can talk about and certain things I can't. But one of the things that we love is automation, and 32 Health helps us with that. 32 Health is you call it a credentialing platform that uses AI to scour the internet for primary source verification. And if all of this sounds gibberish to you, basically you need to be able to make sure the people that you hire are not criminals. So, that helps with that process. And then from there, credentialing and recredentialing for insurance companies makes it like a click of a button. Like I don't have to do anything. So that's pretty incredible. And that for us makes it efficient. Especially if you have limited resources, this is the way to go. There's another thing that I've been looking into, the dental app. And I don't know if you know much about the dental app. It's a PMS system. It's called the dental app. And it is pretty amazing. So it's a cloud-based PMS system. And really the differentiating factor here is that you could take it's like basically layering sales and marketing CRM into the app to basically just work in the dental app together with your patients. So you'd actually create targeting campaigns directly through the PMS for a specific, types of patient that, need braces or something. I don't know. Like it's pretty incredible. And then soon I think we'll have a AI integration. So like an AI dental consultant. So if your staff, for example, is not sure how to do something within the app or want to learn how to create a campaign, which really for a single practitioner or a solo practitioner, this is something that is really going to be very helpful because they're not going to have the resources to hire a marketing person or hire, like a chief dental officer or chief whatever. So there's going to be like this AI consultant that basically will provide you the answers or provide you with, talking to patients in a nice way. You're chatting back and forth in the PMS system with a patient. How can I manage risk by saying something nice and not blowing up at this patient? So it'll help you really formulate those answers using the AI chat GPT technology. It's pretty cool. But you know just again, it's the innovative field of dentistry that we're in right now, where things are constantly changing, things are evolving, and I want to be a part of all of it.
What are some of the things when you look at the business that get you excited? Where you're like, this is where we're going to really be able to pull some levers to achieve growth.
I think there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. I think one of the big ones, I just sat in on the presentation on Keradont. I mean, it's a phenomenal. I don't have a dental background. That product blows me away.
Right.
That you can actually, it's not diagnosis, it's treatment. Rather than sitting there watching something that's never going to get better. So I see a lot of opportunities around that.
What are some of the things about the industry that get you excited or that you're bullish on?
Of course, things related to dental fine, like just the fact that I see like dentistry just being more consumer focused in the sense that a lot of the friction for the patient to see the dentist would be removed. Like things like online scheduling are already like pretty like mainstream, and just going beyond that, such that if someone like has a skiing accident and they need a dentist today and there was just a last minute cancellation with Dr. Smith, like being able to surface that and like sort of just get in like ASAP, right? Like that convenience that maybe it might cost a little extra to get seen, but you're not waiting around and you're not thinking about, oh, does my insurance cover this or not? It's just like any other transaction that you experience as a consumer, whether it's like ordering food on DoorDash and like the ease with which we do that. So that's like one thing that I'm excited about. I'm also just excited about the ways in which we can create a more just like a more sort of like a more friendly space for startups. I don't know if that, like, it just seems based on what I've seen, like with the ADA and the Fourth Institute, like their investments in things like Oral Genome and Overjet, and Pearl, I believe, yeah, all three of them. In the past, historically, the ADA and other like institutions or like dental associations have not really been embracing of technology. And so it's nice to see there's a bit of a tailwind or shifting kind of attitudes towards like, okay, let's be innovative. Let's stay on top of where the puck is going.
What are you most excited about in the dental space kind of moving forward as you look at, the overall landscape? What are the things that make you bullish about dental?
Yeah. So, like, I don't know, I'm a data nerd. I think that's pretty obvious after this conversation. So I think all of the AI that we're now going to be able to extract so much more data. We talked about having too much technology and too much data, but I think there is going to be a kind of a different data that's going to be available through a lot of the AI that's being done that humans are currently doing now, and they can still support moving forward, but it's going to give us some data that we haven't had access to before, or it's been really dirty data because we were tracking it through Google spreadsheets or something like that. So, I'm really excited about the increase in systematic data pulls and access to data that's going to come down the pipeline that's going to let us really tighten up our organizations and ultimately deliver better clinical outcomes for our patient. And it's both on the clinical side and the business side that I think that's going to be prevalent in. So, I'm not excited for robots to do the dentistry, but really excited for, that the AI opportunities that are coming down the pipeline to give us access to a lot of that data that's there.
What is your mode or method of continuous learning to continually advance your career?
First, I learned from the environment that I'm in. So, having access to a bunch of different providers with different personalities and understanding where we want to improve, that's one way of creating programs for those providers. And, maybe it's something that I am not, well versed in either. So it helps me. Another thing is, keeping up with all of our vendors. We have wonderful vendors and they offer so much education and new products out there and new technologies out there and different procedures. I learn a lot from our vendors as well. But what I like to do is I read a lot. I read a lot of different, dental journals, different dental articles, whatever's out there, I try to read as much as possible because that's how you're going to get ahead. And also reading things that are not dentally related, being able to understand how to manage people and how should I be a leader myself. One of my favorite books is called Surrounded by Idiots. It sounds hard, but it's really about understanding people's behavior and their personality traits and how can you communicate effectively with those people.
What has been the clinical response to implementing radiographic AI? Weeks into it. We're weeks into it. But I'm glad you asked because, the rollout of it is something we have to get better at. We have to give them the why. Otherwise, it's just more steps and more tools and more things they have to do. If they don't see it as making their lives as team members easier, then we failed. And so that's what we're looking at right now. I've been meeting with the Pearl team here and figuring out. They said, what does adoption look like to you? And I said, one doctor, one procedure a day. It starts as simple as that. And that's the approach we're taking. And we've learned from mistakes. We've had mistakes in our rollouts. I think there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. I think one of the big ones, I just sat in on the presentation on Curodont. I mean, it's a phenomenal. I don't have a dental background. That product blows me away. Right. That you can actually, it's not diagnosis, it's treatment. Rather than sitting there watching something that's never going to get better. So I see a lot of opportunities around that.
Tell me about your application of AI within your day-to-day. We talk about the ordinary Joe is kind of now embracing Chat GPT. I think to some extent, I think that there's so much complexity in how you can use these LLMs that a lot of people aren't necessarily using it to their full advantage. But on a day-to-day basis, do you lean on it occasionally sometimes? Are you all in at this point? What's your approach?
I'm very different than maybe the average person. I it's more of occasional for me because I don't believe in overkill or using a hammer for something if all I need is a swat. I'm not gonna kill a fly with a hammer because a lot of these AI tools, the computational power behind them is atrocious. I'm sure you've heard a lot about how Microsoft is building its own nuclear facility, which is what you use to build the atomic bomb. So the amount of power that these things are requiring is ridiculous. And so, and it's not very green at all. It's not great for the environment. So, I don't use in my day-to-day, it's actually very minimal in terms of what I'm using AI for. With Dental Fine, we'll definitely utilize it more in the future in terms of the patents behind what we're doing as it becomes more mainstream to do things like real-time matching of patients to dentists. So yeah, that's my as an AI practitioner, that's how AI comes into play in my life on the day-to-day.
The Dental Economist Show is brought to you by Planet DDS. To find out more about how cloud-based dental software by Planet DDS helps unleash dentists and their staff to focus on patient care, visit www.planetdds.com. Stay tuned for upcoming episodes by following wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks for listening.